Yeah, this is a short video on calculating a value inside of Nintex workflow cloud and the forms solution. So what we have here on the page is the start of a workflow. The trigger for this event is going to be the form, and then it's going to send out an email. But we're going to focus on the form for this particular blog post. When we come in here, you'll see the form designer. I've got it set to an anonymous user. And we can go in and configure the form. So when we come in to configure the form, I've created a calculation here to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius and Celsius to Fahrenheit. So when you enter Fahrenheit in this field, it will display Celsius down below it. Same thing here for the Celsius one. So it's a very easy, fairly straightforward, but for those that have not done calculations inside of Nintex forms, this will be a very powerful tool to kind of get you off to the races. So the first thing that I did here is I created or pulled in a number field. So I grabbed the number control on the left-hand side, just drag it over into the interface, click on it to configure it, and you'll notice here that I've got the type set to decimal right there, and that the decimal places, I just have it at automatic currently. So really not a lot that you need to do there. But where you do the calculation is in the variable. This is what you need to pay attention to. So when we click on variables, I have two different variables that I created. I called this variable C to F, and then this one F to C. So let's go in here and look at the first one, and I want to click on configure. Normally you just come in here and click create variable, choose the decimal variable, which is what I did in this scenario, and then you'll be off to the races. But I want to show you the one that I've configured here. So we gave it a name, C to F, the type is decimal, and right here is where we created the variable. So just come in here and do your calculation. So you've got over here all of these functions that are in here. Contains, count, date, ends with, all kinds of good stuff. So I just used a super basic one and chose the insert the sum variable right here. Now you'll notice in my calculation right here, I'm grabbing the field that I entered the value in. So where I entered the value, it says enter Celsius. That's the field where the number field that I put in on the form that you saw in. So I manually called it enter Celsius. But if I come over here to the sum value, put my cursor right in the middle, say enter Celsius, click insert, it inserts that information. And from here, it's a very simple formula. So to convert it to Fahrenheit, we will multiply it times 1.8, and then we can come in here and then take that total value and add 32 to it. So very, very easy to be able to do this particular calculation. So that's how I entered that in there. So I'm going to hit cancel to save that. And I did the same thing here on the Fahrenheit to Celsius. The formula is just a little bit different. You just take the value that you entered for Fahrenheit, subtract 32, and then multiply it by 0.5556. So there is the variable. So what happens is when you put a field value in here into Fahrenheit, that variable is immediately going to calculate. Now, how we show that on the form is done with a label. So you'll see the label control right here. Just drag it over. And this is even easier. Just come in here and I've just typed in some text. F to C conversion equals. And then you click on the little insert and you insert that variable in there. So it makes it really nice to show that. And I think I even added a rule on the page here just to spice it up a little bit. And what this rule does is it says if Fahrenheit, meaning the variable, or not the variable, but the number Fahrenheit, if it's empty, then we're going to take the F to C conversion low, which is the label, and we're going to hide it. Now, if it's not empty, meaning else, then we're going to change the visibility to yes. So if it's empty, we don't see it. If it does have information in it, then we show it. And what the result of that is is right here in the preview, and our preview is very fast. So when I click on this, you'll see that we have a Fahrenheit field, a Celsius field, and the two answers are hidden. So that way, if I come in here and I take Fahrenheit and I type in a value like 32, and as soon as I get out of that field, it says the Fahrenheit to Celsius calculation, Celsius is equal to 0. Or if I come over to Celsius and type in 32, the Fahrenheit value is 89.6. Very, very easy to kind of do the calculation there. So the trick here is put your number field right here, do the calculation inside the variable, expose the variable with the label control. So that's how we do a really easy calculation within Nintex Workflow Cloud. Thanks.